This is the Talk2Jack Podcast with UnkuJack, exploring topics on heart, mind, soul, and the human experience. Let's talk. Hello, everyone, and how are you today? Welcome to another episode of the Talk2Jack Podcast. I am your host, UnkuJack, here with another episode. So today I want to talk about the difference between being knowledgeable and being teachable. And there is a huge difference. I know some of you might be having a duh moment right now, which is fine, but bear with me. As a kid, I was supposedly intelligent, supposedly smart and sharp, and supposed to be a grade A student doing great things. At some point, because I was really young, and so I was pushed ahead a lot because, I seemed to be smarter than my age group and my peers. And so I was pushed a lot, to do more and to achieve more and somewhere along the line, something can happen when you get used to winning all the time, when you get used to doing well all the time. You can become lazy about learning, and because you feel like you know it. And if you're not careful and that follows you, especially into your developmental years, your teen years, your preteen years, teen years, into early adulthood, you find yourself listening less, reading less, studying less, because you think you know more. And there's nothing wrong with feeling like you know more. There's nothing wrong with feeling like you're, a little ahead of the curve, if you actually are. Problem is that you very often will not see that you really don't know as much as you think you do. There is no downside to learning and to continuously learning, because learning is development, learning is growth, learning is improvement, learning is making things better. And there's no downside to making things better if you can. The problem with feeling like you're already knowledgeable, the problem with feeling like you already know, is that you're not open to learning. I very often have quoted myself in coaching sessions and in training and mentorship sessions with people at the office or people at work or people that I work with, especially junior employees or more junior employees, especially those who are professionally trained, so engineers and accountants and things of the like. And very often there is this aura of, oh, look, I already know this. And so you're trying to explain a concept, or you're trying to drive a vision to achieve something, trying to get the team to achieve something. And you can see in the body language and in the eye rolls and things from people that they feel like, look, I already know this. I don't need to pay attention to this. And in and of itself, I guess on its own, it's not a problem. The problem comes up when you think you know, you're stuck within a bubble. You place yourself in a box of what you already know. And your solution profile, everything that you think about exists within that box. The metrics of measurement all exist within that box. In your personal life, you can face trials and tribulations, and you will react only with what you know and only how you know to react. And that can be a big problem, because they say the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If what you knew worked, then you would be good as long as nothing changed. You would be good as long as nothing evolved. You would be good as long as nothing shifts. But life is not static. Life does not exist in a vacuum on its own. Life is constantly moving. Things are constantly changing. You have time, you have space, you have matter, constantly engaging with each other, and it creates a dynamic environment. And so if life itself is not static, then knowledge cannot be static. Problems cannot be static, and the solutions to those problems cannot be static. There may be scientific principles that establish foundations for solutions, but as the situations evolve, as they become more dynamic, the principles will start to alter. I was, as much as I was a good student, I sucked at math. I was horrible at math. Anything that had to do with numbers or calculations would throw me off back then. And it was a problem for me. Algebra, I struggled. Geometry, I struggled. Basic math, I struggled. But coincidentally, in uni, calculus with applications was my jam. And the reason why was because we were taught how to apply math to real world situations. The variableness of math was what was appealing to me. I was able to think about math as living and breathing and apply it into real life situations. And that created a whole new world for me that made math easier for me to understand. And that is how life is. If you are stuck in a rigid box of what you know, then you're never open to the possibilities that exist outside of that box. I tell people often, I can work with anyone who has the right attitude. I can work with anyone who is teachable, because you can teach them, you can train them, you can educate them, you can build them up into what you need them to be. But if they think they already know, then you already have a big problem, because they are sealed off in a box. They are resistant to new information coming in. They're resistant to new solutions coming in. They are more resistant to thinking about alternative ways to address things, to fix things, to change things, to evolve things. And that can be a huge problem. And so I would say that the difference between knowledge and teachability come down to character, more than the information, more than anything else. If you have a character that is built around learning, then you will constantly grow. You will constantly evolve. You will find newer and better ways to do things. You will find newer and better ways to be better as a person, more sustainably. You'll find easier ways to get things done, to expend less energy and be more efficient. You will do things creatively that put you ahead of the pack. But if you think you already know, then you're already behind. Anyway, that's my thought for today. I hope you found that interesting and inspiring. You can follow us on social media at UnkuJack. That's UnkuJack. You can also check out our website at jackandi.com. Send us a message, like, share, and subscribe to this video and to our podcast. And as always, everyone, be inspired. This has been the Talk2Jack Podcast with UnkuJack. Tune in next time for another episode.